We've convened today because the future of our planet is at a critical moment. And we know that today is all about facing and really addressing the world's greatest challenges. That's why Global Citizen and Teneo are hosting the world's largest simultaneous music festival of concerts that the world has ever seen, Global Goal Live, The Possible Dream. Because we know throughout history that music is the great uniter. It brings people together at a time when we need urgency like never before. And the world's greatest artists, from Coldplay through to Alicia Keys, through to Pharrell Williams, through to Billie Eilish, through to Metallica, through to Lizzo, Miley Cyrus, have all signed on to perform for free alongside 28 of the world's greatest artists. And we're honored to have Priyanka Chopra Jones, who's one of the hosts of Global Goal Live, with us today. Thank you, Priyanka. The challenge of eradicating extreme poverty is not an easy one, nor is the challenge of addressing climate change. And really, we know that the good news is the world has a plan. The plan is called the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, with 169 indicators designed to end extreme poverty, tackle climate change, and reduce inequality by 2030. So we have a plan. But what we don't have yet is the financial resources to operationalize that plan. We know. Have I got it? Thank you, sir. Let's give him a round of applause. Good man. Now I've got you. So we have a plan called the Sustainable Development Goals, but the Sustainable Development Solutions Network estimates that the cost of achieving those goals is a whopping $350 billion per annum, or $3.5 trillion over the next 10 years in the 59 poorest countries. So when you hear across Davos people talking about tackling climate change or ending extreme poverty, keep that $350 billion in the back of your mind. Are we just talking about building a water well in Malawi, or are we truly looking at the systemic cost of achieving a world free from extreme poverty? And there are really only three sources of where the funding is going to come from. It's either going to come from government, from philanthropy, or from the private sector. And in the area of government, we've already seen what innovative funds like Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance, can do when you invest in supporting efforts to provide vaccines and immunizations for those living in extreme poverty. But we also know that the most we can additionally expect from governments is about $70 billion per annum. So again, do the math, $350 billion minus 70, we've got a long way to go. We also know that the private sector, we can only expect roughly $70 to $100 billion from the private sector, and that includes institutional investments. Again, we've got a long way to go. That's where the role of the ultra-high net worth community comes in. And today, we have a very significant announcement that you'll hear later from Priyanka, from Forbes, and from our chairman, Chris Stadler, on the role of ultimately the ultra-high net worth community to step up at a rate that they've never stepped up before. This is an important announcement because we need ultimately those who have the means to contribute more. And I'm proud to tell you today that those who have the means can have their cake and eat it too. It is possible to both make more money and end extreme poverty and tackle climate change at the same time, so long as everyone does it. You're going to be hearing more of that later today. But right now, let me introduce you to my friend and partner in crime, Declan Kelly, the CEO of Teneo, who has been a long-standing partner of Global Citizen, and he's going to share with you a bit more about Global Goal Live before we kick it off today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hugh. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I want to echo Hugh's thanks for a special thank you to MIT, TCS, and Forbes for hosting us here today. Teneo is the world's largest CEO advisory firm, and we're incredibly proud today to be partnering with Global Citizen on this historic initiative that we've been working on, Hugh and I, and our two companies and teams, since September, called Global Goal Live. Our collective efforts will culminate on September 26th. Put that date in your diary. It's going to change your life forever. September 26th will be the largest broadcast cause event in the history of mankind, with at least 6 simultaneous concerts taking place at the same time across 5 continents. Together, we're building a coalition the likes of which the world has never seen before, to secure the $350 billion in commitments that Hugh has already mentioned. To achieve our goal, we're bringing together citizens of the world, world-renowned artists, companies from all over the world, government leaders, and philanthropists. This group will drive actions and push for companies, governments, and philanthropists to step up finally, once and for all, to help provide the commitments needed to achieve the global goals and end extreme poverty once and for all. I've been coming to Davos for many years. Many people talk about this, and many people try their best to help. But now is the time to make it happen. It's time for the talking to end. To get to the $350 billion needed annually to do this, this campaign will call on and call out governments, companies, philanthropists. Leaders in music and entertainment have already raised their hands to perform and support this campaign, many of whom are longtime partners of the organization, and we are thrilled that Priyanka, who is one of them, is with us here today. To date, the campaign has received support from several leading CEOs and senior executives from around the world, leaders of the largest companies in the world. Chuck Robbins of Cisco, who is here with us today and from whom you will hear in a moment. Hans Vestberg of Verizon, Ed Bastian of Delta Airlines, Alex Gorski of J&J, Vincent Roach of Analog Devices, Mark Pritchard of P&G, who you'll also hear from here later, Mindy Grossman of WW Weight Watchers, Randy Freer of Hulu, and several others. We're here in Davos as we want every company to become part of this campaign in some way. It's not as difficult as it sounds, so please listen. You can make a policy commitment in support of the global goals across one or more of the campaign focus areas, and there are 3 out of the 17. Human capital, gender equality, or sustainability. You can make a sector commitment to join or develop a partnership of leaders across your sector to identify a joint commitment you can all make towards the goals. Or 3, you can simply raise awareness by engaging partners and supporters and suppliers and people in the campaign. To be clear, very important you understand this. This is not a telethon. This is not about raising money. This is not asking people for a financial commitment. This is about taking specific actions and making commitments that will be counted towards and recognized in support of that $350 billion goal.